Director of Association of Industrial Automation of Ukraine, and I'm head of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance. This webinar, or rather online meetup, is organized together with our Czech partners. Firstly, Czech Inno. I don't know if Teresa Shamanova is here, not yet. And also with several.
Yes, I am here. I'm here. Welcome,
yeah,
everybody. I'm somewhere in between the meetings. In a couple of minutes, I'll be calmly in my office.
Okay, great.
Yeah, welcome
great,
to everybody.
Teresa. We waiting for you. And also with Cybersecurity Hub of Czech Republic and the cluster Smart City. So the topic is about Smart City, and it's dedicated rather to how to rebuild Ukraine, because everybody knows about these enormous challenges we expect after war period. So they start to think, to reflect, to exchange today. We had great visit to Czech Republic in last October, and so we signed a memorandum with 4 Czech partners, as I mentioned it, as also with Cluster Industry 4.0. So, and we planned like roadmap, how to prepare it, how to be prepared to this big recovery of Ukraine, and we split it all topic of this bilateral collaboration in several segment or several topic, and smart city, smart industry, cybersecurity. Of course, we can consider other topics, but we decided to start with that. So end of April, we will have a big forum dedicated to smart cities, smart regions in Czech Republic. So it's supported by Czech government. Thanks a lot to Czech in Teresa Shamanova for this, let's say, lobbying of Ukrainian innovator, integrator. And in fact, this online meeting is like preparation to this forum. To the main target, the main objective we consider today is about networking, about to be familiar each other, to know about main challenges, to know about solution, about product from both sides. So that's why we consider it like at the beginning to make this exchange about the vision, to modern concept, to modern, let's say, philosophy, I would say, about smart city, how they should look like, or what are main approaches, main trends, and so on. Because our government already declared that we will not build something, in old style. We want green and digital city. Yeah, it's already like, declaration, but anyway, it's position Ukrainian government. Of course, we support it. So we'll talk about the vision, about concept, and then we will consider the current state. We will consider how it looks like landscape of Ukrainian innovation in smart city, also from Czech side. And then at the end of the meeting, we'll do some, just pitching, 5 innovator from Ukrainian side, 5 innovator from Czech side. Yeah, I see Teresa is with us. Teresa, please, your welcome words.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say 3 sentences about the collaboration that has been approved between the Czech Republic, supported by the Czech government, and the Ukrainian side. We have a mission, incoming mission of Ukrainian experts, which means, in fact, you who are present here, approved for the last week of April, exactly between 24th and 28th April. The Czech embassy in Kiev has already started to prepare all the procedures necessary for organizing the mission. You can already select 10 persons that will be fully supported, and their traveling will be fully covered by the Czech government. And we will then transfer the list to the Czech embassy in Kiev, and in this last week of April, the mission will be organized. And within the framework of the mission, in the middle of the week itself, we plan it for 26th of April. The Czech Ukrainian Smart City Forum is planned. we have agreed there will be support from the side of our Ministry of Industry and Trade, and all the parties in the Czech Republic, I mean the governmental players, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Industry and Trade, governmental person entitled for collaboration with Ukraine, because we have a new governmental charge here in Czech Republic, are informed about this. So please let you collect your interest, and let you proceed with planning the mission on the Ukrainian side as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Teresa. So let's start. Maybe I forgot about other, because it's mainly Czech Ukrainian, but we have here today also other partner. We have partner here from Spain, from Germany, yeah, US, I would say, and other countries. So welcome all. Let's
Thank
start.
You very much, Alex.
Yeah, let's start. So the first presentation is about vision of modern smart city, but I don't know because it's Michael Postranecki, if you are ready, please say us. Otherwise, we will.
Trying to connect. Just a moment. Looks I still do have some technical. Okay, I need to update driver. Sorry, update. So can somebody else? And it looks like I should be able after that.
Okay, so Mike Postranecki is architect. It's a leading architect from Czech Republic. She planned to be first, but well, let's change. So our first words I give to Igor Zapertov. He's digital expert, co-founder CS Mechatronics. Igor, please, the floor is yours. Igor, are you with us? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we see your screen, please. But just switch on microphone. You are muted. We don't hear you. Just you are muted. Just switch on your microphone, Igor.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I have no energy in my house now, so I limited by energy battery, so maybe during an hour. So let me introduce very interested market in Ukraine, connected with mobile applications for city residents. It's interesting because every such solution can arrange around yourself a digital environment connected with different digital services, systems, transport systems, parking systems, security systems, and so on. So all companies who want to provide own solutions can get such possibility to provide own solutions with collaboration with projects that use this such of applications. And first, I want to describe maybe ideal application to show what it can include. For example, a very popular model is city transport that can include possibility to pay for your ticket if your city provided any transport payment collection systems. You can do it, for example. You can, of course, to plan your route and so on. Another very popular model is private transport, including, for example, payment for city parking in your city and so on. Another important model is communication, including city contact center, when you know whom and how you can call, for example, appeal of citizens to the city authorities, and different city push alerts, especially is important under current situation with the war in Ukraine, when we need to control different attacks on our infrastructure. Another main features are next, for example, housing and communal services, including different tools to control status of problems of city, push debt and other notifications to know how to control, for example, state of your house or another model is e-democracy that includes, for example, public budget of city, public consultations, e-petition. It's enough standard services that our government provides now, and it's important to organize in a convenient view for all citizens in Ukraine. Unfortunately, it provided now only in big cities. Another services can be, for example, registration to city officials, appointment for doctor, services for business, and a wide range of another local services, of course. Of course, this market has own problems, and in first I want to say about lack of resources and competencies, especially for small towns. Another very serious problem is corruption when local authority tries to restrict participation of different companies in such kind of projects. Another problem is that every project wants to repeat each another, so every project repeats his way from zero, and it's not effectively, of course. And as a result, we have a serious lack of general framework for such kind of projects, and there is no reusable software, interoperable software. It's limited participation in such kind of projects for IT companies who can offer their products. But anyway, we have not bad situation before the war started. For example, some large cities developed own projects in Ukraine. Kyiv has mobile application Kyiv Цифровий. Some cities in Ukraine developed maybe limited solutions with help of international organizations. And the Ministry of Digital Transformation started on project to develop standard solution for many small and middle cities in Ukraine. And I joined this team 2 years ago to help them to integrate their application with different city solutions. But unfortunately, when the war began, project was stopped as a lot of another different projects of the ministry. So someone can say that maybe it's not a good idea to speak this market, maybe it's impossible to do something, but I see some processes that led me to be a little optimistic. So in first, I want to say that in our new reality, we need to control new problems. And for example, we have every day dangerous connected with rocket attacks at our infrastructure. We have a lot of people who lost their houses, who moved to another parts of Ukraine or another countries, and that is why our government has to provide special solutions to control these situations. 2 months ago, the Ministry of Dig signed agreement with the global initiative GovStack. I want to say about it some words additionally, and I see active development of different applications by supplier who offer own services. For example, company who supply energy in Ukraine, the tech wants to redevelop the application. Big medicine network, Dobrobut, tries to make his application better too, and mobile operator Kyivstar started some new interesting projects. So this situation is going ahead, maybe slowly, but there are some moments that I offer to take into account. And What about GovStack as enough interesting initiative for Ukraine now? It's include participation of some countries of Europe who have own experience in digitalization. I want to say that Estonia has played important role in this process, and Estonia is our very important digital partner for our country. Maybe if you know, they offered for our government the solution to organize data exchange in our government. So we have good story relations with this country. And 2 months ago, the ministry signed an agreement to join this initiative. I don't think that it can be silver bullet to solve all our problems, but in any way, I suppose it's moving to the right direction. And what about this initiative? In first, this idea based on using of common framework and standards program models. I say about open source software that already has good history of using in Europe, and that is why it led to provide new projects in Ukraine with more lower costs and additional opportunities for small towns. Of course, it will create new possibility for Ukrainian companies who want to join this initiative, who plan to provide own solutions in Ukraine, or maybe in Europe, because they can do something in accordance to requirements of open standards. And of course, it will make new opportunities for foreign companies who want to go at our market with own solutions with a good history on Europe. So, as I said, I see some processes that let me be a little optimistic, and I hope that in the nearest year we can get some success history in this field. So it's my presentation. I'm ready to answer maybe now, maybe later. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Igor. Colleagues, raise your hand if you have any question. I think we can spend time for 1-2 questions, not more, because our timing is tough. Igor, maybe you mentioned it about fragmentation, like negative trend or phenomenon in Ukraine. So up to you, if we have any city in Ukraine which have a long-term strategy of smart city, or as you said, it's always about some range of application like public services, but not more.
I can't say what project can be present as very maybe effective, very successful. It's difficult to say because we only began our moving in this direction. So we had a half of experience to say that we know everything to provide it in a successful way. But we are in the beginning of this way. So if maybe 2 years ago all solutions were provided by different companies with own frameworks, own standards. For example, maybe DIA is famous. Our application was developed by a company PAM, for example, and so on. And our application we wants to develop with help of another company. And of course, it creates some problems. It's not maybe very good if we want to develop general standards for our field. But in this situation, we have to go ahead with help international organizations. Anyway, under these very difficult circumstances, Ukraine depends on international organization, international helps, and it's a good possibility to use their experience. So I hope it will be a successful story in future.
Yeah, okay, it's clear. So I think we've got a good, let's say, progress in approaches or standardization, interoperability. So it's really very important. But we had already this exchange with Czech colleagues, maybe in before that, and we said that unfortunately Ukraine don't have, you know, clear strategy at state level or at the level of cities. How it should be the strategy, the long-term strategy, or in terms of good conceptualization of smart city. And this is also a topic for today. I think Michael Portanetsky will talk about that, but I see raised hand. Igor, please.
Excuse me?
Igor Kotsuba raised his hand. Igor, do you have a question?
Yeah, no questions. I just want to add, maybe from different perspective, about the market and opportunities in Ukraine. You know, because Ukraine, in my opinion, it's like a huge test bed. It's a huge opportunity to exploit the results of innovation actions wherever they were taken, in the US, Canada. This perspective is outrageously interesting for stakeholders in the US, Canada, Europe. As I repeating again, Maria Gabriel said, we arrested Russian money, we will give it to Ukraine, and we will give it via research and innovation track, which means that we need to prepare not just ordinary reconstruction, right? We need to say, okay, we will build vehicle to grid city or infrastructure in this city. We will develop carbon zero district or some. And European Commission launched new calls, you know, on positive energy districts. About the so basically our project we are running now is completely the same. So my idea, and as Mike said, really nice. It's amazing thought, you know, and so because we will be so Kiev is gonna be a new epicenter for you know, for examples how to build.
Okay.
In minimum program is for post-Soviet Union countries, maximum program even for Europe or UK or Canada or the US.
Yeah, thank you, Igor. So it's good notice. Well, let's go to the next speaker, Michael Postranetsky. Are you ready?
You know, trying to
try again. Yeah, try. Anyway, we always try. You know, it's.
Okay, something is going on. Sharing is paused. You will need to go back to window where you sharing resume. Is it good? Nothing is happening, am I right?
Not yet, not yet.
Well,
anyway, you can just comment maybe the main idea we discussed before about, you know, about the approaches, about the concept on smart city, about your experience, your regions, state in Czech Republic, just maybe free talk about that, all that.
Yeah, I prepared very nice presentation. I said about that.
Well, sorry, but we don't see it.
I know.
Maybe.
So I'll go to presentation and I'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we see. Now we see the screen. Great. Just make it full screen.
Yeah. So you see it now?
Yeah, we see it now, but maybe not in full screen.
Trying to do full screen now. What about now?
Not yet, but anyway, we see. Okay, let's do like that.
You can press F5 and then it will go. If you're on a PC, you can press F5.
It's not so easy in MS Teams, so it's more complicated.
Okay, so I don't know what you see, but I'll skip who I am. I just want to say, guys, my wife is from Kherson, and then I built some admin zdanie in Kherson, so I'm really connected to you guys, and we are watching news from that area every day at home with my wife. So I'll skip what I did. About 5 years ago, I founded a.
Michael, we see just the first slide, maybe.
Yeah, I already skipped it, but I don't know why. Why it doesn't work.
Just come out from the presentation mode. Make your full screen presentation, and then now we see the next slide. But I think it's better if you want to do a full screen. You come out, you make a full screen, and you again enter into presentation mode, sharing screen.
What about now?
No, it's like half a screen. Okay, we see next slide. Okay, Rethinking City we see now. Yeah, okay. Now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'll skip all that. So because we are short on time, I did some big building in Vegas, but Rethinking City, I founded this Center of the City of the Future, which is part of Czech Technical University. And the main goal was really rethink the city according to new technologies and innovations, and then stop the thinking and then designing the city the old way. So we are mainly focusing on 4 other areas. I believe that there's 4 areas. We are trying to research, evaluate, and design the future cities from society, economy, technology, and environment viewpoint. And those sectors are basically, there's everything in those sectors, and we are trying to find out what the relations are between them, and we design city. Okay, skipping again. And then that's the most important urbanist responsibilities for designing city or rebuilding cities. That architects, urbanists, and city engineers have to work with horizon at least 30 to 50 years ahead. I do have 40 years experiences already in my field of expertise, and then technically I started and I was challenged to work on some prognosis for capital city of Czech Republic, Prague, with prognosis to 2030 to 2030. And then we really did that prognosis, even it was under communists yet. And many things is happening. We are not the first guys who are trying to talk about greening or green infrastructure, about energy, about technology. I'm just showing you, if you see the picture, the future about ideas for the future from year 1979. So you can see here, if you can see it, trying to build vertical city, trying to solve mobility, transportation, trying to move, trying to solve a mobility as we call it today. Picture on the right side, or levels in I'm showing those pictures because you have to think and look horizon. We cannot just. I understand the and some structures or district disappears, but we have to be amazing chance the new infrastructure leaders, not only in the whole approach how to design rebuild cities. You have I find out Ukraine that is extremely important resilience. Only problem I have this resilience, you have 3 sectors: provide economic, social, and environmental resilience in the marathon to victory. And what is really missing here is a urban resilience. And it's a term which actually connect together all knowledge. And then all that smart city is part of that resilience approach to build cities or rebuild cities, because you have to really prepare for next shocks, not like war, hopefully, but the other shocks. I know that from hurricanes in Florida, and then what we really talk about is about every infrastructure has to be prepared for the future shocks, for downplay their functionality, and for being able to function even in the worst possible time. There is just a couple of statements. We have to design future cities based on a recent knowledge, but of future expectations. We have to leave grant reserve in our new plans for future inventions and structures. You really don't know what technology will come in the future. I understand, and I really know that it's, if you tell it to somebody in city which was bombarded, they have nowhere to live. They just need any kind of help. But me as an urbanist, I have to look at 30 behind. So, completely new smart infrastructure. Only chance in Ukraine, right? Or at least smart infrastructure. Of course, smart tools, what I'm talking about, GIS. And we have to think like we are, let's say, years from now. We have to think about business and societal models, which will be developed in the. We cannot use old rules to design cities. We have to just think like we are in the future. This poster, if you 7 years ago, it says it was when basically Richard, I think, talk about today. So yeah, there was nothing, but city, which will be a smart city, but it had to start just as a regular city. It's very similar to you have to make a ready city. What does it mean? I didn't want to show too many examples, but because the other people will be showing that, but it's about everything is connected. So we have to sensors, we have to collect data, we have to store them somewhere, we have to move them from one locations, that's secure, we have to database, to create database knowledge from those data and use prediction. We have to have a smart build, know everything. And we again actions and data buildings. New designing, there will be a lot for connective transferring data, like infrastructure. Maybe it's 10 years from now, actually 6G on that. In buildings, it will be very example. So new antennas are type of on existing infrastructure in the city, and we have to think it immediate right, and we have to do when smart cars.
Michal, we have a problem with your sound. Could you please do something with your connection, because we hear only each second word?
Yeah, the connection is not good. That's true. Talking about 5G, right?
I'm on airport, fortunately, so.
Okay, let's continue because we guess your messages, but anyway, well, it's interesting.
The smart cars, autonomous vehicles will, human data. We will have to work with and side to other side. Also have to the cityscape, the ergonomy of cityscape. It may be we can to make actually more space for people walking on side. There will maybe not be any curb between the car and sidewalk, because autonomous vehicles will go where they're supposed to go. We are working on one which is called urban. It will also structures like vertiports. And we don't have those structures in the real cities, but in the future cities, in new cities like we right now, we prepare space for those future structures. They will come in years from now, but let's give them a chance, and there will be more others. It's just picture. It doesn't. I'm just showing a lot of different structures, vertical woods in the city, because we need good air and biocorridor. How we will get it there? A lot of new requirements, new organization of urban space, urban plans. Industry will ask to redesign cities. It's to decentralize principle, decentralize factories. But on the other side, talk about for example, on construction side, which is also decentralized factory, basically, there's a big demand of transportation. So we have to think problem in the future. Of course, we are looking at energy storage, basically prepare our energy infrastructure. We call it for collaboration. New guys, small guys, we have to prepare. That smart grid has to be resilient. The same is for water, other systems. Okay, that's be green, but looking forward to new technologies. I'm even a part of one company to Ukraine, some print elements. But this is something else. This is about new technologies, additive type of technologies used. So we'll use new technologies. So we have to for new technologies. How we faster way, less energy demanding. We will expect new robotics on site. It's already here, but I understand it's not right now, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it will be here. So we have to get advantage from that. And then when we design city, we have to have this in our mind. Big future, maybe 30 years from now, 40, I don't know, but one day, who will build, and we have to give what big challenge or big to build a vertical inside the city. Be able to add type of functions in city in Travelan. What we will see very soon, a lot of robotics freely moving in city space, and that now used already on the construction site. You can know many pizza robots. What you to use tools when we design design stuff. We were used for maintenance for specific area. I designed the model, physical model. Over this model, we were projecting in a neutrality from Microsoft. So people can call a new way. What will change is a job market, because robotics, not in 2 years, maybe 7 years, 10 years, but it will change. What it will change is a start to live a virtual reality, and we'll be using it not only to think games or have fun, but for some asset, change to digital, and move somewhere, and move again to it be investigated how to use the VR and blockchain and are for many things. There will be new robotics and human. I'm always saying, let's use robots. We are also working. I'm also working on some clinic. I think robotics actually, and not to be too long. I'll just a couple more pictures from my did with as a project was done. Future, I'm the author about like school. For 15 to 30,000 people, it had served as a city laboratory for city resilient, city smart, city are and working and growing together. I just show a couple, and then I will. But it was about transportation. A lot you can see robotics, but it was also about in building. It was a water management, like development management used for landscaping, and designed a way they are using the water, which is so we are not sending them just like that, using different materials like wood for the huge this and then also sharing space for many subjects with one. Not everybody has to repeat it in his. It's also the way how to share things and make it less impact on an environment. I really like when I designed this green roofs. I don't like too much. Don't like at all panels on the residential or building, school or something like this one. I place them all on industrial buildings and things like that. So probably all here, and then we can, if you have some questions, we can have a discussion. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Michal. It's really very inspiring, this vision, and we really need such vision for future rebuilding of Ukraine. Unfortunately, the sound it's not very good. Connection not very good. But we saw all picture. It's really very inspiring. But colleague, I don't know if you have some question. Maybe we have still time to several question, and I hope we will hear Michael. There are no question. So how up to you, because you mentioned about a lot of new technology, saying let's say about robotics. In your opinion, what is time lag? What is horizon to this technology will be implemented into reality? Up to you. Or it depend on kind of robotics, or how do you see the future, the nearest future? Let's say in 5 years.
In 5 years, we may hope to see some, let's say, autonomous systems, mostly in cars or vehicles. It doesn't matter if it's just a simple car, mostly in buses or small kind of things. I think we see more and more in construction sites, on construction sites, for example, in industry. And there was Ludovic was having question, if I'm right, about regulations and
Yeah.
new law. It's going to be a huge problem. That's why you have to design those cities or strategies for those cities and draw those things immediately. So administration have a time to bring new regulation. I'll tell you the small example. Designing that urban air mobility vehicle and a new V-ports, what I shown you in my presentation. When we present it on IFAR, which is association of basically all institutions like NASA and all other institutions, they are very advanced in designing all those vehicles, vertiports, but they have no vision of how fast they will be able to use those vehicles. So we find out when we present it on IFAR, on one conference, when I presented it, I said, guys, if you think about it, in my case, it may take 10 years before we get there, before we will be able to talk about the real new type of infrastructure in urban systems. We are not talking about one connection just to present things, to find and the other thing is also very important. We really have to talk about public acceptance, because not all technologies will be publicly accepted. And another beautiful example is scooters, all those electric scooters, because people are not using it the proper way, the way it's designed or it's meant. So what cities are doing, they are just not allowing to use it in downtown, for example, but it should be replacing cars. So there's a lot of work we have to. But if we do not design those things, don't show those things to public, if we don't present them, we never will. We will delay everything. So let's be ready. Let's design it right now. Let's work on that, and then have ideas. Don't only repair what is damaged. Let's start and have a big presentation, big brainstormings, and then you have great designers. You have amazing people in Ukraine. Let's work together, share experience, and that's what I'm for to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great, Michal. We really will need such people like you. Yeah, because the question you touched it is really very important for us. We have here many guys from industry 4.0 dealing with industrial enterprise, and we know how it's difficult to implement new technology even in one enterprise. Yeah, because it's not just about technology, it's about organization, about structure, about people, about policy, and so on. So if we take city scale, it's much more complex. So that's why we are a little bit afraid, because in Ukraine we in your district, for example, in Kiev, we don't even have let's see, right parking, yeah, just because they do not respect ordinary rules of, you know, of building new districts in Kiev. So this is about mentality, about culture, about standard, about regulation. So it looks like new technology come much faster than organization change. Yeah. Also, if you take city level, what about with all that in Czech Republic? Do you follow this change in all these, let's say, social infrastructure or municipal infrastructure, with culture, with regulation, or you are also behind technology, or you try to follow them?
You know, it's interesting. By the way, I'm organizing a conference in September, which is called Society 2050 Plus. It means society with AI in the middle, because I think it's going to be very important. We are going ahead. We are talking. We are good. We have centers for AI in our country, and our Minister of MMR, I don't know how to say it in English right now, of development, whatever, is talking all about digitalization. But the truth is that we are behind. We are still in the data collection and analytic phase. We are small babies in that. At least in our country, I would say everywhere, if I don't count on Singapore or somewhere. Singapore is maybe leader in that, but maybe Estonia. But we are talking about smart cities, but there is really not smart city yet in the whole world. And the problem, I even see, even I am for implementation of smartness and latest technologies, because I visionary in that segment. We have to plan cities, evenly in all systems. You cannot just create digital islands somewhere, because if it doesn't work with other part of city, it just doesn't work. That's very simple, and we are spending money for nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, thanks, Miguel, because our time is limited. So we have just a short question from Igor Kotsuba. Igor, please, and then we go further.
Yes, very simple question, because what I feel, like cybersecurity, smart cities, in terms of all the goals of the European Union we need to comply with. In my opinion, it's like very policy, standard, certification, regulated thing. So we cannot talk about culture. We need to build policy first. My question to Michael: what does he think in this? Because I'm from technological horizontal sphere in positive energy districts, in smart cities, carbon zero cities. What do you think? Like, architecture in the city must be the same. So how to rebuild from scratch? We understand how to rebuild energy infrastructure, digital layer. But what about architecture? So your opinion, it's like must be city driven, policy driven, or this is
good
question. Thank you, Mike.
So my answer will be, every city has its own culture, so its own DNA, so you cannot apply. There's no one solution fit all. See, it's very difficult, but we can come with elements like facades. We are talking about biophilic approach. We are bringing greenery on facades, roofs, for example. How we will do it at each city, it depends on the city or on what they allow us to do or not, what developers are allowed us to do. Because me as an architect, I would like to have those elements. For example, green elements on facade, or smart elements on facade, in every piece of infrastructure. Not only buildings, but also streets everywhere. But developer will not allow me. When I talk to some developer in my country, and I'm telling him, hey, let's at least prepare the development to be smart. He tells me, I sell it anyway. I don't care. See, it's more money for me. It's more work. I'm not gonna care about it later because I sell it and then I don't manage. I'm not property manager. So that's the problem. So you have to deal with more with issues like that, and then architects, I believe, know what to do. But I don't know if it's enough answer from me, but.
Yeah. Okay, colleague, I think we can continue this discussion in the chat, please, if you have possibility, Michal, because you touched very, very interesting topics and many questions can arise. So please continue in the chat. We should follow because the timing is very strict. So I would like to hear now the comments about, because Michael touched question about, you know, this synergy or integration of digital infrastructure and physical infrastructure. So infrastructure is really very important in even in current city, not just in the future, because problem with connection now is on the side of the Michal. It's about infrastructure. So Ludovico, we have a guest, our partner from Spain. Ludovico Lopez de Cada. He's expert in cybersecurity, also in smart city. So I would like to hear maybe comments about framework of digital infrastructure from Ludovico, and then from Igor Kotsuba, who is Ukrainian expert. Please.
Thank you. Hi, Alex. Good morning to everyone. Well, thank you for making the short introduction of ourselves. Yes, as Alex was saying, that we actually based in Spain. We're working now in a Mediterranean project which is called 1070 Hub. Basically, when we talk about smart cities reconstruction, we have to think about what technologies will be implemented in those cities and those new infrastructures in the years to come. Cybersecurity is a key point, not only from the physical point of view, but also from the logical point of view. Obviously, because as you implement all these new technologies, that we will be facing new challenges in terms of how we can secure that there will be no interruption in any services. Because think over about digitalization for medical sector, for example. If you have a specific transport for taking someone from one city to another because it's going to go to the doctor, and you have automotive systems which are programmed on the future, well, obviously cybersecurity will be very important to make sure that those services they are not interrupted. So there's obviously a long run view about what it should be in 5 years and 10 years. Things like photonics, all new technologies that will be implemented for having a full secure networks. It's something that will be really down on the table to be discussed before implementing any new technologies in all those sectors. But definitely, I would say that our vision is that what we're doing here in Spain, or what we're intending to do in developing a big secure network, obviously we'll be very happy to share that with a project on development of the cities in Ukraine in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ludovico. Igor, your comment, please. Igor Kasuba?
Yeah. I got lost in the windows. So my comment is like, I feel happy that with the Czech Republic we now have this established communication. As long as I do believe the amazing opportunities are coming, and as long as the European Commission launched new dedicated calls, for instance, for rebuilding cities. And cities in Czech Republic are good examples for that, and the European Commission states this on the requirements. And all this collaboration with Spain in cyber, so based on all this, I think we need to strategize and take leadership of how we rebuild. So for vehicle to grid chargers, for instance, and our engineers started with testing, and not all cars, with the protocols of the vehicles and everything. So just in order to create something new, because start deploying huge scalable infrastructure, deploy new signatures for communication of vehicle and grid and city, data lakes, as we discussed with Ludovico, and we implement this now in Dijon, Brussels. But we can replicate this, and Commission wants us to replicate this, and Commission wants us to have Czech cities in our ideas, and so I just want to say that I'm very happy that we've got this diverse interdisciplinary strategic team, and yeah, I mean, we are absolutely ready to, even for, you know, like understanding the complexity. We invited to our team Roman, who's like award-winning architect, Ukrainian, who studies now in Barcelona for architecture, and because I think it's a very challenging period, as you Alex said, very challenging period in front of us, but strategizing everything, I do believe we can avoid frustration. We can avoid frustration of ourselves and our partners, and make it as really, really flagship example of carbon zero future. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Igor. I see the hand of Ludovico. Ludovico, please.
Yeah, I wanted to add something as well in the presentation of Michael. Michael was talking about, we were talking about regulations, implementation, and also the gap between the technology development and the actual, let's call it, deployment of those technologies in the real life. Yeah. One of the things we have identified, I mean, on my position here today in Spain, I'm a member of the Gaia X board of directors, which is the one which is really working with the Secretary of State in Spain to define all the requirements on different verticals. So obviously I have a direct, let's call discussions with regional governments and also national industries about what are the issues they have and how they're facing those issues, you know. And this is really giving us an overview about when you talk about making things happen today, when everyone is talking about new technologies, digitalization, we have to come down to earth about the reality of the things in a practical way. Okay, when we're talking about integration technology and also the requirements of every sector or every industry. I mean, obviously for the design of a new, let's call it, new cities, new infrastructures. I mean, we have to come first to the reality of what is happening in these sectors, especially in construction. You know, if you've got the people who have not the ability to use a computer or a tablet just to have a record on what the type of work that they're doing, it doesn't matter how much money you're going to have. It doesn't matter how many computers you're going to have. People are not going to be able to implement that. So we have a very basic point in which I call it, in Spanish, we call it vinculador tecnológico, which is technological integrator, or let's call it putting the relation between the gap of what is there and the reality of the digital side. You know, it's a person who actually recognize what is the gap between the reality of the sector and the reality of the digitalization process behind. And it's something that we're looking at now to discuss with the Secretary of State in Spain. Actually, I have meetings next week to implement this type of figure to increase the reaching of SMBs and middle-sized companies, because we have companies calling us and says, okay, we want to do digital transformation, but we don't know how to do it, you know? So we all technologues, you know, we understand technology, we understand regulation, we understand that, but administrations doesn't understand about the needs of specific sectors. People don't understand what administration is doing with the money we pay out in taxes. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we need to bring also to technologues to say, okay, look, we need this. So let's work with the university to develop this kind of requirements. You know, it's part of the, you know, gap or the challenge that we have on the years to come. Basically, I would say, you know, I think it is a point to be discussed on that, you know.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we really appreciate this remark. What maybe I forgot to mention that in fact we we already established, multilateral collaboration, especially in cybersecurity, because thanks to Czech Martin Babuška, unfortunately he's out today, but he, let's say, contributed to this development of relationship with Ludovico, with Spain. We had already some exchange with Ukrainian state body of cybersecurity. I hope they already in touch with Spanish state body of cybersecurity, and we expect maybe some close relationship with memorandum, so on. So in fact, this is also a result of our collaboration. Because we use Ludovico, we contributed to that. So you see in this example how networks start to work, and I think we will foster this connection, these relationships, and we see on this event that it's necessary, to foster and to speed up movement of all community, also of the Ukrainian side, because we really need such exchange. Well. Now let's move to the maybe more practical things on the side of the business, and I don't know if Teresa, we will change Martin on somebody, or we just miss this presentation because Martin, he is not here.
Yeah, for the moment, I'm sorry, I do not have any materials from Czech Smart City Cluster,
Okay.
and Martin has announced his non-presence just yesterday evening, so
Yes,
I really
yes.
was not ready for that. I just wanted to repeat and enhance that we are ready for the collaboration, and that if anybody here is interested to meet physically Michal Postránecký, to visit the center of the City of the Future at the Czech Technical University, and also to meet Martin Babuška and the people from Czech Smart City Cluster, let you come to the April Ukrainian Smart City Mission to Prague and other Czech cities, and we'll be happy to introduce you together and to show what is being happened in Czech Republic.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. So let's go further. Next part, it will be Ukrainian. We will present well, shortly, briefly about our landscape in Smart City, about Touchpoint, and then there will be briefing of short pitches of our companies. So I will share with you a few slides about our ecosystem. So I hope you see my screen. Do you see it? Full screen?
Yes, we see.
Okay. So talking about Ukrainian recovery plan, useful source for you, it will be about going to the site, which is the same name, like recovery gov.ua. And when you go, yeah, my internet is also not so fast. We don't have now electricity. When you go to this different chapter, it was prepared for famous, Lugano conference of last year, where Ukrainian government, together with professional community, we also participated in this plan, giving to our government our proposal, different project and so on. Then the government, with big consultant, I don't remember, McKinsey, something like that, they split all these proposal by different sectors. And of course, you find here something about building infrastructure. Of course, it's not confirmed. It's like first attempts to see the future, to gather what we have. But anyway, it gives you some idea what can be done in Ukraine, because you find here, for example, some point about modernization public building, heating, cooling public building, public services, public security, and so on, so on. There is a list of projects. I think my colleagues, Anatoly Doliny, will. But I'd like just to give you this sort of information to our Czech colleagues. So talking about sorry, it's talking about our community. As I said at the beginning, I represent Association of Industry Automation of Ukraine. We dealing mainly with industry 0, but some of our members, of course, they are also in segment of smart city. And what we're trying to do in our association, we provide also good accounting of all innovation, so on. We have special resource. You can go to it, land for developers, and it's dedicated mainly to industry 4.0, but we already implemented some, filter to know
There's no sound, it seems.
Sasha, ми не чуємо тебе.
Yeah, it's problem of connection. Now it's okay?
Now it's good. Yeah, now we hear you.
Now do you hear me? Yeah, sorry, because it's problem with connection. Talking about Ukrainian cluster, we had many group of clusters you see on the screen, and I hope we'll have more in construction, because for today there is only one cluster from construction sector is united, but in opposite side we have many clusters in engineering and industrial automation. I would like to mention also our network of, let's say, international network, which continue to grow. This is we had something like awards of our colleagues of last year. There are men from different countries. There is only one woman, Teresa Shamanova here from Czech Republic, and we really appreciate, Teresa, your efforts, because let's say our success on international arena looks really better in Czech Republic. So thanks a lot for your efforts, and we hope we'll continue. So what we consider like axis of collaboration. Firstly, of course, we are ready, our company are ready to work with you on a different topic of European project, because it's important for Ukraine from the point of view, just follow innovation race, because it's clear that technology go very quickly, they change quickly, and of course the war can leave Ukraine behind, far behind of all this, modern development race. That's why we need to participate in this calls, but also it's question of course money, because many of our developers and innovators, they are a very difficult situation, because in fact we lost market in Ukraine, our end user, because nobody asked today about innovations, they just survive. So this is very important, let's say, axis of our strategy in Ukrainian Cluster Alliance, as well as association. What is interesting is that we see more and more call on Europe from European Commission dedicated to Ukraine. This is very interesting call, Horizon. So we invite Czech colleagues to go to it, because it's dedicated especially to Ukrainian city. I think the first deadline is something like April. Yeah, it should be on April. But so we are ready to engage our municipal body from cities and go with you to this call. Sorry, it's I click not right position. And so on. So we have also developed in the Ukraine Cluster Alliance something like top 10 proposal. So it's really like project idea or even project proposal for different kind of gaps we have in our innovation ecosystem, and we try to connect it to this big line of recovery program. We presented this document in Brno. And of course, we also ready to collaborate with it. This is picture of our landscape. I mentioned it, and as I said, there are just few innovators here. So, but in reality, we have much more. And I think to April, we will fill all this database with all innovators we have on the Ukrainian side. So this is briefly about, like introduction about Ukraine Cluster Alliance and Association of Industrial Automation of Ukraine. And if there are no question, I would like to invite also another association, Association of Waste Management Enterprise, Ukr Eco Alliance. Diana Rodnaya is project manager. Diana, if you are with us.
Yeah, hello, I am here.
Yeah, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Thank you. Is it
Just
full
make
screen?
it.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Diana Rodnaya. I represent Ukrainian Association of Waste Management Enterprises. It calls Ukrainian Ecological Alliance. And my presentation topic is digitalization of the waste management industry in Ukraine. Our association is the largest association of enterprises for utility services and waste management in Ukraine. Our goals is to unite waste management market members in one powerful association, to share modern and innovative experience, and to build sustainable and efficient waste management system in Ukraine. Our association members are both Ukrainian and international companies. There are 15 members of our association. All of them work in Ukraine for 10 to 45 years and have good reputation and trusted among their clients. The sphere of work of our members is waste management collection, sorting, transfer, treatment, thermal treatment, composting, and disposal. Also, we work in social sphere. For example, we run informational and ecological educational companies for residents, for school children, and for students. And within the Ukrainian specialist of International Solid Waste Association, we also developed and published the dictionary of terminology, waste management terminology. What is about the digitalization of waste management? In our new law of Ukraine, it says that it should be developed the informational system for proper accounting, reporting, summarizing, and analysis of information in the field of waste management. The elements of this informational system are electronic cabinet of a business entity, submission of an electronic waste declaration, electronic conclusion of cross-border transportation of waste, also electronic permission to carry out treatment operations, waste management license, and geoinformational system. Also QR extract from the registers. So what it means for our waste management companies? It's introduce the online monitoring of waste movement tracking from waste generation, transportation to the utilization. Also is promoting investment in waste management sphere and creating a modern waste management infrastructure by assessing that data registers and I'm sorry. And activities of our association in promoting the implementation of digitalization policy are the next. Our areas of work is adaptation of enterprises to work with informational system, also establishing a dialogue with communities, and informational and legal support. From this informational system, we will get such benefits. It's accumulation of data set and their verification, transparency of waste movement and management, trust between communities and private companies through monitoring tools, volume guarantee for waste treatment enterprises, reducing the number of treatment facilities that do not meet the requirements of the legislation, and environmental protection. Areas of cooperation with our association is harmonization of Ukrainian legislation with European one, informational and educational work with waste producers and treatment companies, digitalization of all processes in waste management market, and raising the qualification level of experts from regional local administration and from business environment. So thank you for your attention. Here are our contacts. You can visit our websites. There are also English page to know more about our association.
Thanks, Diana. Colleagues, there are any question to Diana? I don't see hand, so you can put your question in the chat. I invite Anatoly Doliny, who will talk about Touchpoint, our vision, our proposal, how we see Touchpoint with Czech colleagues. Anatoly, please.
Yes, do you see my presentation yet? No?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But is it expected or not?
Maybe. The question when.
Please check your document must be opened on the screen of your laptop and then touch to share.
I'm doing that.
Okay, maybe let's, I try because I have your presentation.
Okay, yes,
Do you
please
want?
do that.
Do you see it?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. So my information for you is just to make a short overview of those sectors we members of our Ukrainian Cluster Alliance are working in. This is a extract of the National Recovery Program, which was presented 6 months ago, but is still valid. I fully agree with these synergy areas. This is to think that from the rebuilding Ukraine, the that must be a win-win strategy, that the Ukrainian economy, Ukrainian companies should grow as well as European. The security area is as well energy security, cyber security, and civil security, very important synergy area. Green Deal as well as innovation. These are 4 principles and areas. So I mentioned here, if you can see in red, some projects from this program. I know that our companies and clusters are working in. For example, program for the development of the aviation industry. This is the sector development of the defense industry. There are a number of companies manufacturing drones and even small airplanes. Then the program for the implementation of projects for development of new technologies. First of all, dual use. Next slide, please. This is the sector of rebuilding clean and safe environment. As my colleague already presented, this is the creation of an ecological web portal ecosystem. It is already planned. And restoration and development of waste management infrastructure. Next page, please. Energy. First of all, for our small and medium enterprises, this is the field of smart grids. Next page, please. Boosting business environment. First of all, facilitate access to electricity for businesses. You can see that we all are having problems with electricity in our enterprises and offices. Next page, please. Growing value-adding sectors of economy. This is the sector of furniture, development of production clusters, happening already, very successful sector of our economy. And IT, develop startup ecosystem, innovation hubs, accelerators, incubators, platforms. This is already sector growing, even in this war circumstances. Next page, please. Logistics, construction of public green charging power stations. This is also including grid update, so also the sector between logistic and energy. Next page, please. Launch housing upgrade programs, very important projects like temporary housing and new housing infrastructure in line with urban planning best practices we heard already today. Modernizing infrastructure, modernize water and wastewater management system upgrade, and electrify city transport based on local production of buses, trolleybuses, suburban rail. Also very important, creating new working places sectors. Next page, please. Next page, please. Sasha. Yes. Education, of course, very important sector. I mentioned here only one program, modernize and build, finalize. Oh, I'm sorry. Back one step back. So flagship schools. Yeah, flagship schools. Healthcare rehabilitation services improvement program. Expand healthcare data, create specialized modules, medicine register, and strengthen IT infrastructure, as well as enhance digital health. So these sectors are very important when we are holding our front lines, having many people, many men and women coming back from the front line and needed such services like rehabilitation and healthcare. Next page, please. Oh, yeah, culture. I didn't mention culture and social security. I didn't mention any special project because both programs are fully needed of our participation. So these are a small, a short extraction of those of some projects planned in this recovery program, and all what I mentioned.
I think we should shorter because it's already timing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finishing. All the projects are already executed. Many companies are working there. On this slide, I'm showing here an example how we could cooperate with European companies. As you can see here in yellow, some parts of our market. This is a separated model for utility sector. In yellow, these are sectors where low cooperation readiness. In blue, this is service demand response service. In all those sectors, this is much more cooperation readiness, higher cooperation readiness, and in green, high cooperation readiness in grid provider, local smart utilities grid provider sector. This is what we could do together. Next page, please.
I think we should finish because it's very limited.
This is, I'm finishing.
Yeah, okay.
These are 5 regions where we could do do a cooperation, restarting smart city or region programs. So I'm open to connect all who would be interested in cooperation with companies working in those projects. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anatoly. I see the raised hand. Michal, please. Michal has a question.
Yeah, I was reading through the plan yesterday, and I really like the plan. The only thing what I already mentioned in my comment in my presentation, there's a time plan for all those projects. It's very well, done till 2032, but there is just very short and limited amount regarding that resilience, and I believe that we have to add that urban resilience to that. They are all talking about social, economic. It's not enough. We are rebuilding, we are rebuilding urban structure, urban systems. We have to look at different way. Because I am actually leading some urban resilience PEG here in Czech Republic, so one of many. And so I like that theme a lot. I present a lot. It was past, when we didn't have war, when we had things like social problems in cities. So social resilience was very important, like genders. We don't care about gender. We care about war. It has to finish, stop, and get to build future city. Right now, we don't have. And so if you go to that to that graph in that plan. You see just very little. I think it's a red color for resilience. You need to make it much bigger. You have to let's push it if we can. If we can, I don't know if we can, but thank you.
It's interesting. In fact, one of the methods maybe we can develop with you, with foreign partner, is something like a short document, but something like fixing of the future. It can be like policy paper, or I don't know, something like. But such documents which really fix important things. Let's think about it and maybe come back in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
So Mike, do you also have a question, please, Mike?
Yes, audio working, audio and video working now. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
Video not.
Okay, video's working. Okay.
No.
I just had a conversation in the background with Fraunhofer IZM, and I'm authorized to represent them. That we have 2 active solutions, one for water monitoring and one for either current grid. So when I'm in Ukraine on the 12th that week, would love to have a discussion. These are technologies and actual devices that can be implemented immediately as per what you were describing for smart cities. One specific of interest is a power line monitor. Basically, you'd be able to put this on your power lines. It will work with the current, let us use nice language, suboptimal Russian-based grid systems in order to give you monitoring to optimize your electricity flow, but could also serve as a foundation, even if you didn't continue with that technology, to demonstrate the monitoring of the power grid in order to, let's say, provide an interface point for smart cities via power grid optimization. I spoke fast, I apologize. Is that something of interest? Because we can make that happen quick.
Yeah, it can be interesting, of course. Let's discuss during your visit, yeah.
We'll discuss, and I will bring the documentation. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Mike. Igor?
Yeah, Mike, I just want to add that in Ukraine, we've been delivering something similar, like robot immersive for water quality checks and IoT LoRaWAN stuff with that. And on smart energy grid, did you say Fraunhofer that you represent?
Yes, Fraunhofer IZM in Berlin.
Oh,
so yes.
Yeah. So we were with them in some projects. I mean, I think that's absolutely amazing. For instance, in energy, maybe you heard in 2015 there was a cyber attack on energy grid, like first in history, when blackout of the whole region.
Yes.
So we not use them, we work with them because it's like very well visible example. So we work on digital twin of that infrastructure, substations, and we trying to add this layer sensing technology to that, to optimize. So for me particularly, I mean, if you meet Alexander and no interest there on optimization, I'm interested. So let's have.
We will all work together.
Yeah,
what ties this together is the presentation from yesterday, where there was an individual, sorry, Alexander, you remember, from the Ukrainian government that has direct interface with a funding program from the BMBF in Germany. So this is the other reason that we pull in Fraunhofer for this, is because that unlocks monies from Germany. And I'll have to say, Fraunhofer IZM in Berlin, I've been working with them since 2017. I trust them, okay, to do the right thing for Ukraine. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, thanks, colleagues. Very interesting. Yeah, but we should go further. So, Teresa, maybe I switch now the moderation right to you, and you will manage because now we are in the section of pitching, and the first are the Czech company. Just short pitching about your product, solution, approaches to smart city. Teresa, I give to you moderation.
Okay, good. Thank you. We have here one company from our network. Wojciech Cuchy from Logio should be here physically. Is it all right, Wojta? Are you here with us?
Yes,
Yes, he's ready to present. I hope he's permitted to show his presentation. And the rest of the solutions, I guess, will be presented by myself because I've given possibility to the Czech Smart City Cluster or to the Czech Center of the City of the Future to nominate their companies, but they didn't do so. So I will present some use cases from our network. Wojciech will start.
Okay, just a second, I'll share the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. Good. My name is Wojciech Cuchy. I represent company Logio. We are a company of almost 200 people from the Czech Republic who are like supply chain experts and production and modern technologies experts. This is something that's related to smart cities, but more to also smart industry, smart logistics, smart supply chain. What we do, we have two main divisions. One is software development, supply chain software development. We develop software called Vertico. This is a system that is used by retailers, distributors, FMCG producers to predict and forecast the future demand and sales, and based on the demand, predicted demand, to manage the inventory in a whole distribution network, and to automate the purchasing, replenishment, and ordering process. And that results in like higher availability of goods, lower inventory in all distribution network, and also to eliminate or at least significantly reduce the waste, the scrap of expired goods, obsolete goods, and so on. So that was the first part of the company. The second part of the company is supply chain consulting. Those are like experts in different areas of production, logistics, and so on. For example, we help companies to define and optimize their distribution network, supply chain strategies, to build warehouses, automate their production, to bring digitalization. Also, we have a few people who are experts in maintenance, that they help companies to define maintenance strategies, to help them define the processes and systems, how to manage the inventory of spare parts. That's interesting. Also, for example, for public transport companies, for power generation companies, and so on. This is an example of clients that we have. You can see that most of the companies are from, or not most, but a big portion of companies are from automotive industry. Other segments are like heavy industry, oil and gas, power generation, and also retail, fast-moving consumer goods, and distribution is another big segment for us. We are active in mostly in Central Europe, but we have had projects also in post-Soviet countries, Asia, and so on. And this was a theory what we do, just a few examples. One that we can use is distribution, network design. Basically, when a company or some institution need to define how many warehouses and in which locations should be built, and it can be related to warehouses or to productions, or it can be related also to, for example, charging station for electromobiles. It can be related to parcel delivery boxes in cities. So basically, this exercise is to define the right locations, the amount of locations, considering different criteria like transport cost, warehousing and logistics cost, transportation time, distances, CO2 emissions, and many others. So that's one example. Another example is building or optimizing productions, optimizing warehouse and logistics flows. constructing different technologies, bringing automation and digitalization to productions and to logistics operations. We don't deliver any technology ourselves. We are not producers or vendors. We are the ones who help companies find the best solution that fits the best to their needs. So we are consultants in that, but we lead the company through the process from the beginning to the end. Of course, this all is based on data, so we analyze bunches of data. It's quite advanced analytics. We have developers, programmers. Very often we need to do dynamic simulations to prove that the solution that we selected and the technology that we selected is the best one for the client. And yeah, that's what we do. And the last picture, to be fast, one real example, a project that we just recently finished, construction of brand new, fully automated warehouse in Pilsner Urquell Brewery. It was a 3 years project when we let the client, let the brewery, from the conceptual study, feasibility study, through detailed technical specification, vendor selection, to construction supervision, and to start of production, which was just a few weeks ago. So that's it. What we do. This is a contact to me. If there are any questions or comments, I will be happy to address them individually. Just call me or text me anytime. Thank you.
So that's it. First Czech company. Are there any questions to Vojta Cuchy? Okay, if not so,
maybe just it would be reasonable to leave your contact in the chat, please.
Okay, I'll do that.
yeah, and otherwise, Wojciech already knows about the dates of the Ukrainian missions to the Czech Republic over this year. Just to emphasize, some of you are already coming to the Czech Republic during this month of February to visit the conference Brno Industry 4.0. This is mainly focused to the smart industry topic and Industry 4.0. And nevertheless, of course, there are some implications with smart cities and smart regions. So maybe some of you will be coming to Brno, and most likely you will have opportunity to meet there also Wojciech and other Czech colleagues. Then the smart city mission will be in the end of April. Then there will be another Ukrainian mission and visit to the Czech Republic during the machinery or engineering fair trade in October. And the topic I want to come right now is cybersecurity, which is the third main and umbrella topic in the Czech-Ukrainian Czech digital agenda. We have also a special cybersecurity mission that will be coming to the Czech Republic late November this year and in the beginning of December. And that's the second topic I wanted to emphasize and wanted to bring into this pitching session from the side of the Czech Republic, because it's not a company offer, but in this I'm trying to share the screen, but it seems it won't be possible. So maybe I will just talk about it. The offer is coming right now not from a company, but from a non-for-profit consortium of so-called cybersecurity innovation hub. I will try to share the screen once again. Yeah, hopefully it will be able.
Teresa, we don't hear you.
Yeah, I think, Teresa, you have problem with connection. Maybe try to reconnect or just switch off your video because we don't hear you. Teresa? Yeah, maybe there is some problem with connection, so let's wait a bit. As well as I understood, Teresa tried to present some other. Yeah, you are here. Okay.
It's funny. I'm here because I was trying to share the screen, and while I was trying, the Teams application fell down. Yes, but now it be possible. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we see the screen, but just make it full screen.
Yeah,
that's good.
So that's it. I wanted to show you this logo and explain that there is a system of so-called European digital innovation hubs. Cybersecurity Innovation Hub is one of them, and these hubs are entitled to help the companies, SMEs, but also public organizations to raise in some kind their digital maturity. Maybe you know this picture and you know this scheme, and maybe you have heard something about European digital innovation hubs. Please let you be aware that this is a pan-European network. Unfortunately, there are no European digital innovation hubs in Ukraine, but Ukraine and Ukrainian SMEs and public organizations are entitled to use the services of European digital innovation hubs in other countries, including Czech Republic. And this is exactly the case of our Cybersecurity Innovation Hub, because although we are seated in Brno, we are able to provide the services Europe-wide, including the Ukraine. And the very nice thing is that all these kinds of services, I mean, testing facilities, access to skills and training, including online cybersecurity trainings and so on, access to networks of contacts that are useful in this sense, and also helping to find investments and support to finance new cybersecurity solutions. This is a thing that can offer Cybersecurity Innovation Hub, and completely for free, because we are financed from Digital Europe program together with a National Recovery Plan. And we are able to operate also towards Ukrainian clients, including public organizations and companies. This is the partnering structure of the hub. So you see that the Czech My Home organization is one of the partners. The leaders are three big Czech universities, Czech Technical University in Prague, Masaryk University in Brno, and the Brno University of Technology. We have an University Institute Cybersecurity Innovation, Cybersecurity Hub as our coordinator. And just not to be too long, I will give you all this presentation to your disposal. I wanted to show you also the list of services of our Cybersecurity Innovation Hub. Just a second, because they are quite many. Yeah, we can either provide some cybersecurity assessments, cybersecurity audits. Also, just a second, I will find the right file. That's it. Yeah, can you see the document?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. So this cyber range is to your disposal. You can visit it physically during your visit in Brno or access it online as well. You can use the research services of the present universities in cybersecurity. We can provide you some consultancy and advisory, either the general one or some tailored to a case of individual client. We can provide cybersecurity trainings, exercises also directly fitted to the needs and to the situation you're solving, and we can also somehow intermediate the contacts to other cybersecurity experts either in Czech Republic or Europe-wide. So this is just very briefly about the Cybersecurity Innovation Hub and the potential of collaboration in the field of cybersecurity that of course is somehow in common with the smart cities topic. Yes, so that was the first possible case for collaboration, and now I would like to continue with the presentations of three of the companies we are working with. Because what Alexander has said before, we have one European project in common. The project is called BOWI, and within this project there are some Ukrainian experiments running, as well as some experiments with digital technologies running on the Czech side. And three of them are very much in common with the smart cities, regions, and communities topics. One of them is related to smart construction. I will try to show you the very short presentation of the company, because what they are doing, and the name of the company is Červenka Consulting. Just a second. Now you should see the screen again. Is it all right?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you please
yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes, so this is the name of the company, Červenka Consulting, and what they are doing, they are specialized, and in fact they are one out of two companies worldwide specialized in this topic, specialized in the 3D printing of concrete buildings or its part, and for more, they are able to simulate the behavior of the material, I mean the concrete, in the moment of building the construction, which means in the moment of 3D printing of the concrete construction, and also later under some different conditions related, of course, to weight related to meteorological conditions and so on. What they have right now, they have a simulation software that is called Athena, and the simulation software is able to predict the behavior of the 3D printed concrete buildings or its parts. Their experiences are already worldwide, and they would like to go also to Ukrainian market where they are not present right now. Here you see some use cases and some references from their projects they have realized until now. And within BOWI project, they are just now developing a mobile application to the disposal of engineers and projectants of the buildings that will be to the disposal 24/7, and will be able to collaborate with the projection offices, and will be able to control the real-time buildings on the construction area itself. So this is what Červenka Consulting does. I have empowerment from the CEO of the company, Mr. Jan Červenka, who is our contact related to the Bowie project as well, to leave his contact here and to intermediate the communication. And for sure, and for another time, once you will be coming to the Czech Republic, and once you will be member of the mission related to smart city topic in April, you will for sure have possibility to meet Mr. Červenka and his team from Červenka Consulting Company. So that's the second case. Are there, please, any questions related to this smart construction topic or activities of Červenka Consulting Company?
No, maybe just because this look like PDF, right?
Yeah.
Just to give us
yes.
later information about this, maybe in some website, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Once I will stop presenting, I will send you the contacts directly to the chat. Yeah. So that's the smart construction topic. And then another one that was mentioned by Anatoly Doliny during his presentation as very important for smart cities, regions, and communities, field of e-health and telemedicine. There we have other two experiments running within the Bowie project, and this month they will be ending their experiments, and the new products will be ready to enter the market. First case, it's a company called Principal Engineering. I will once again try to share the screen, and for another time it will be just a very, very short and very small PDF, because yeah, you should see the screen. Can you see the PDF with a picture?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this case, the name of the company is Principal Engineering. And they are specialized in many fields of digital services. They are software developers, and they are always trying to implement something new within their research or experimentation activities. And this telemedicine solution is one of them. It is a combination of smart telemedicine metering based on IoT and smart watches that are being offered to pregnant women that are somehow in a risky health condition. And this might be very useful for the current situation in Ukraine, and very useful for those pregnant women who are not able to attend regularly their doctors, or who are somehow endangered by this so-called preeclampsia diagnosis, which is a very serious diagnosis that is nowadays present at about 10 to 15% of cases of the pregnant women. And this telemedicine or smart watches solution is being combined with the artificial intelligence diagnosis system that is based in a hospital. Now the Principal Engineering Company has some experimental hospitals in Czech Republic, but they are already in contact with Ukrainian hospitals, and they have personal contacts with the expatriated chief doctor at the hospital in Kharkov, who is nowadays in Czech Republic Republic physically, and is hoping that soon she will be able to get back to her country and help to implement this kind of smart solutions for pregnant women in Ukraine and also in other countries, because of course this solution is multiplicable at many countries. So the principle is that the preeclampsia or any other serious diagnosis, and not only in the case of pregnant women, but of course also in the case of other patients, could be observed in a distant way by offering smart watches or smart bracelets to the patients, and then an AI system or AI, let's say, medicine assistant is being trained to recognize the diagnosis or to recognize the risky states of the patient, and to immediately prevent, firstly, the patient himself or herself, secondly, their doctor who is taking care of their health, and thirdly, it could also directly send an alert to the health service who is able to bring the patient to the hospital as soon as possible. And this is really a kind of a revolutionary system combining IoT telemetering and the distant observance of the health conditions of the patient together with the AI assistant that is helping with the diagnosis of the state that can endanger the health or endanger even the life of the patient. So that's principal engineering, and the same is here. I will leave you the contacts of the company. They are also part of the BOWI project. So the colleagues from the Digital Innovation Hub in Ukraine, that is part of the BOWI project, can take part at the demonstration of this experiment that will be in March this year. And immediately after, you can use this solution also in the Ukrainian market. So that's the third one. Any questions to this telemedicine solution, please? Anything I can explain? If not so, I will come very quickly to the third solution. Yeah. No question? Okay.
I mean, this is Mike Richardson. I have questions about this, but they might be a bit lengthy. It's in regards to the actual infrastructure for monitoring the hardware, right? That I'm a reviewer for EIT Health, by the way, and so I'm going to give you this input from that, right? The questions that I would be asking if you were coming to me for funding at EIT Health is, one, I would be asking about IP protection for your physical device and the security of the data chain. So can you speak to that? Meaning that I am getting input from a pregnant woman, right? How does that match with GDPR, right to be forgotten, and treating that data basically as clinical data? Can you answer that?
Well, this question, unfortunately, is not to me, because I'm not the author of the solution. Yeah, but
Understood your audio clips, and so I'll save that for later. Just later on, you can connect through Alexander. I would be happy to give a review of that project based on the credentials that I just let you know that I have. One thing to know about a lot of these digital health efforts is that it's very important to look at how it will interface.
Now I've lost the sound. Can you please repeat your last sentence?
Yes, from a reviewer's perspective, it's very important to understand.
Once again, we lost you.
The audio keeps dropping, so I'll take that later. I'll take the question offline and can communicate that through Alexander. Would love to provide some.
Okay. In fact, Mike, he will visit Kiev in 2 weeks. So I think the question related to this visit, that just exchange information. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I will intermediate the contact with the CEO of the company, and the same is here. They will terminate their experiment within the Bowie project, and immediately in March they will be able to negotiate about possible usage of this system in the case of Ukrainian hospitals. Yes, so that was the third one. And the very last one, and I know that we are almost out of the time, but I will be very quick. It is about a combination of virtual reality and again, AI assistant, AI diagnosis assistant that is implemented by
Teresa, I lost you. I don't know, maybe everybody else hears.
Yeah, there was some problem with my microphone. Apologies. Yeah, can you see the presentation? That was my question.
Yes.
There's always some problem with my microphone, and it keeps muting itself without any movements from my side. So I hope the microphone will stay on. So the name of the last company is Virtual Lab, and they are combining virtual reality using, of course, virtual reality glasses, and the virtual reality environment that was designed to help training of medical personnel at the intensive care units, which is, of course, it was very complicated in the COVID times, and it is very complicated in the times that are nowadays in Ukraine. So helping to the doctors and the medical personnel to collaborate in a distant way on learning how to take care of the patient at the intensive care unit. That was the initial idea of the Virtual Lab company. This solution of VR ICU training simulator is already in place. And what they are currently building, they are connecting the virtual reality, which means, in fact, the avatar of the patient. I can here skip in the presentation here. So they have avatar of the patient. Then they have digital twins of the medical devices that are taking care of the patient. And then they have a pretty new and nowadays being trained AI assistant that is recommending the possible ways how to treat the patient in a most efficient way. Yeah, so in fact, target groups of this solution are hospitals, universities, and simulation centers. And the solution of this VR ICU, virtual reality intensive care unit, combined with the AI assistant, helping to recognize the diagnosis and to take care of the patient in a most efficient way, is the solution that is nowadays being finished within the Bowie project and will be also ready to use in March. So this is the general contact. I will leave in the chat the direct contact to the CEO of the company. And again, they are part of the Bowie project and will be presented within the final demonstrations, and they are ready to collaborate. They until now do not have any relationships of the Ukrainian market, but they will be happy to step in contact with you as soon as possible. So that was my improvisation. Sorry that the companies were not present here today, but really I thought initially that the Michal Postranetsky and Martin Babushka will bring their companies, but just recently I have learned that it's not the case. So I've just used the space to present some use cases from our network. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Teresa. So from your side, it's fully right.
Yeah.
It's
I will now put in the chat the 5 names of the companies and the contacts.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So now the turn of Ukrainian innovator smart city. So I'd like to invite the first speaker, Evgeny Kobets. It's a PF Service LCC project manager, with presentation of Smart and Safe City Kyiv and Dnipro. Please, Evgeny.
Yes, hello everyone. Wait a minute, I will share the screen.
Just to prevent again, guys, that you have just 5 minutes per presentation because we are a little bit late for this timing.
Yeah, do you see it?
Yeah, we see you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, super. Okay, yeah, we have 5 minutes, so I'll try to keep within them. I will present a short overview of Dnipro and Kyiv security projects. The programs Safe City Dnipro and Safe City Kyiv were starting in 2016. At the moment, Dnipro includes more than 1,700 connected cameras and its own optical network, about 400 kilometers. In Kyiv, the number of connected cameras is higher, of course. It's about 10,000 cameras. Some info about Kyiv. Since 2016, several projects of traffic control at all roads to the city with license plate recognition have been implemented in Kyiv. In addition, a system for controlling traffic and the number of cars for the traffic management system has been deployed on highways. Since 2020, a video surveillance system with facial recognition has been put into operation at all Kyiv metro station, and 100 speed cameras are working at the moment. About Dnipro, since the beginning of 2019, the Dnipro Situation Center has been fully operational. Currently, 12 operators are working in it, representing law enforcement against agencies and structural subdivisions of the Dnipro City Council. The situational center of telecommunication equipment and object infrastructure in the specified territory is designed to collect, transmit, process, and display information about the events and threats. Since 2019, we have been providing control of public fire, epidemiological, technogenic safety in Dnipro. We fight against crimes and fires. We monitor the transportation of bulky and dangerous goods. We promptly respond to man-made epidemiological and nature anomalies and disasters, terrorist threats, and events with sign of hybrid warfare and so on. In Dnipro, the system provides management and coordination of the current work of city, territorial services like police, emergency services, municipal and private security, public formations for the protection of public order, local economy, gas stations, energy, education, healthcare, and so on. There is a local maintenance and support services for the specified software and hardware of the center, telecommunications equipment and facility infrastructure, ensuring the possibility of uninterrupted user work, data protection and backup, functional development, personal training, and performance of direct executive functions in specified areas custom works. One of the important component of this Safe City is the Safe School program. Dnipro has 80 schools which are involved in the program, and project includes 234 connected cameras, Kyiv has 350 educational institutions and more than 1,000 cameras. 92 cameras installed during the reconstruction of parks and other infrastructure facilities are already connected to the Dnipro video surveillance system. Yeah, about integration of the Dnipro system with the global services of Google Maps, Waze, and others application and programs. Yeah. The use of the latest technologies for data collection and control is the main advantage of our system. In particular, are named aerial vehicles with various sensors and widely used. Yeah, like how to say, here you could see different sentence. Okay, let's go. Let's move. Safety of critical infrastructure facilities. Yeah, we could also use it in railway infrastructure, gas transport system, highways, ecology, and mining. Yeah, and some info about the city project. At the moment, it's smart management, like open budget, Prozoro, electronic petitions, public budget. Kyiv also have card security and transport, like video surveillance, transport analytics, face recognition. As I said, in metro, for example, traffic management, then speed and public transport control, IoT monitoring, and water access to meters, school and hospital microclimate, and situation center like coordination, data analysis, and the hot line call center. Yeah, thank you for your attention. Any question?
Thanks, Evgen. So next speaker is Victor Kaplonovsky, KTS INTEC. Sorry.
Yes, I hear.
If you have any question to speaker, please put your question into the chat.
Yeah. You see my screen?
Yeah, just make it. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. My name is Victor Kaplonovsky. I am CEO KTS INTEC company. We are manufacturer and provider different solutions. Manufacture MBIT communication platform. It's fully open platform for different devices and sensors. Also provider different solution like one of our solutions, street lighting microgrid solution. Many suppliers offer only street lighting system for energy savings. We offer to monetize street lighting system with additional services. First, street lighting system with a free capacity of electricity line at day and night. It gives opportunity expand next services. Second service is a deployment EV charging up to 7 kWh and prepare for peak demand management. We will solve problem of deployment EV charges in a city. 1 kilowatt batteries on the pole with distributed battery management system solve problem of capacity electricity line and open way for new services. Distributed 1 kilowatt hours cheaper to 30 to 40% than centralized container battery storage. 1 megawatt hour distributed storage we can use for service EV charging and managing peak demand. So it will be street lighting microgrid with many profits from different services. So one investment in a street lighting system will get synergetic cash flow from any services with low capex. It's shortly about this solution. We implemented some of component this service and continue to develop another part of services. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Teresa, we see your hand.
Yes, I just wanted to apologize that I've lost an access to the chat in Microsoft Teams. I don't know why it just stopped functioning. So I am putting all the contacts and references into an email to Alexandra and Olena Sadema, and please let you share it with the other colleagues. I really am not able to access the chat right now. Sorry.
Thank you, Teresa, and we will follow up with all the materials, presentations, and the video recordings, so make sure that you are registered. I'm gonna send the link again if you are not, and we're giving the floor to Christina.
Hello, and can you share my presentation, please? Can you help me?
Christina, where do you have your presentation? Have you sent it to us?
Anatoly said that somebody will help me to upload it.
Sorry, I'm still several minutes here, so maybe okay. How is called your presentation? Is about
digitalization on the state level.
Eco Alliance?
No. No. Software Ukraine.
Christina, yeah, I see it. Yeah,
Thank
Christina,
you.
I see it. Just a minute. Okay, I will share it.
Thank you very much. So I'll start. I represent Software Ukraine. This is an IT association that unites Ukrainian IT companies that are developers of IT solutions with added values. And these IT solutions work on the state level and in private companies. And today I will speak about digital public services at local, regional, and national levels. And, the next slide, please. On the slide, you can see the figures. These are key facts and statistics about the digitalization in public sector in Ukraine, and these figures are growing all the time. Today we can tell that on the state level, the digitalization is growing all the time, and as an example, we can name DIA portal and app that allow Ukrainian citizens to be identified via ID card and passport in electronic form. And via DIA app, Ukrainian citizens can get some public services online. And this is an example of digitalization on the state level. And the next slide, please. And on the next slide, you can see the solution for local governance. This is an example as local governance can be digitalized. So the solution includes 3 modules. This is household recording, local property tax register, the register of the territorial community. And the next slide, please. And the main functionality of this IT solution you can see on the slide. And this is registration of residents, statement information, statistic report information, and etc. And this solution help local authorities to digitalize their activity and their data, and make their activity more easy. And the next slide, please. And following this link, you can find the information about this solution as you are interested in. And the next slide, please. And the next example as a solution for local level and for regional level, we can say that this is ASCOT. This is solution for automation of administrative services in administrative service centers. This solution also includes services for local governance, but the main thing we are talking now is that this solution helps to provide administrative services offline and online more fast, and help people to receive public services online with help of digital electronic signatures. And it makes these public services more easy to get. The next slide, please. And this service processing system provides data entry automation, ID card reader, and receiving documents from the app from state registers. And this is an example where we see the data exchange between the solution for local or regional services and state registers as a public area. So the next, this solution provides the data exchange with the registers, as you can see on the slide. And the next slide, please. More information about this solution you can find following the links. And the next slide. And speaking about the future of digitalization in Ukraine in the area of public services, we believe in that public-private partnership is the solution for us to grow public services in Ukraine, and to growth of public electronic services could be more rapid if the public-private partnership will be launched in the IT field. We believe in that, and we work on that, and we hope that in a close future, PPP will be a part of cooperation between the state and private IT companies. Next slide, please. Thank you for your attention, and you can contact me via email and ask me questions.
Thank you so much, Christina. We'll send the presentations with the follow-up, so if anybody interested can be easily contacted and see your presentation again. So the next speaker that we invite into the stage is Ivan Kun or Alexei Kun, whoever is presenting their projects about the smart water systems.
Hello. I've started to present. You see my screen?
Yes, you can make it full screen.
Okay, 1 moment. I start the camera. Okay, I present the company Interproject and our software product Cloud City. Interproject create design, engineering, automation, engineering, assembly of control panels and switchboard IT solution. Project management, installation of engineering system. Since the company specialize in design and modernization industrial object and the agricultural sector, and further in the common industrial and common industrial. Yeah. We are a company of the full design cycle, from the design of the project and the stage of the idea, or up to commission on of the implemented facility. We offer the following range of several consulting in the field of technology section, project design, management, and of construction to control the timing and minimize cost, automation, and technological launch of enterprise. Our mission, the strategic engineering solution for a sustainable development of the country from concept to implementation. One of the main problems in the world is the clean water. In the real life of Ukraine, clean water must be provided by water company. The problem of water utilities are low resources, efficiency, and high water losses of more than 16%. Also, one of the main problems is the excessive number of personnel, which forces the company to spend significant financial resources on inefficient management. The creation of a digital twins make it's possible to solve the problem of water resources conservation through improvement of transportation efficiency. Construction of network maintenance and operation process based on digital analytics solution. Digitals and automation make it possible to reduce the number of personnel, increase energy efficiency, and improve asset management. Sorry. We solve this problem with the Cloud City software product. We create in this program the geographical information system. It's a digital archive of data on the assist of water supply and drainage enterprises with the geographical references to various type of cartographic bases. The program visualizes the information that has been inventoried and downloaded. It helps to monitor and make changes that have taken place or are currently taking place. A test management system, a tool that allows you to analyze the description, reminding live, critically operation, reliability, and priority of assets to be replaced based on information about condition, facility, functionally, probably, and consequences of assist failure. In the project that we are currently implementation in the city of Lviv, we successfully use this model to find and water losses in the water supply system. The next model we used in this program, hydraulic model, hydraulic modeling uses information about the elevations of the terrain and data on the parameters and characteristic of objects. Yeah, physiometric plotting to analyze the network and identify areas with pressure suggests. In the event of an accident on the pipeline, the system allows taking into account the condition of the valves to display on the map and the form of a table shut off valves that need to be close to cut off the water supply and emergency areas. That mode is used to scheduling the dispatcher informs the locksmith. We get a lot of subscribers who will not have water supply, and you can warn a resident about the lack of water supply. Yeah, we can use dispatcher model in program. Its dispatcher model allows you to automate the work of the dispatching services, provide graphical and other information for operation analysis of the situation. The function of registration of the accident by means of a card allowed to define coordinates of a place or accident, the nearest shut-off valve, and the list of the disconnected at localization of accident subscribes and automatically to form the application with the address of a place of accident. This data is stored in a database for further analysis. The project, at the moment, we have implemented 2 projects in the cities of Mariupol and Kropyvnytsky. We are currently implementing a project in the city of Lviv. First K project, Mariupol. The project consisted of 3 main stages: inspection of well and creating electronic map of network basis on the result of research facilities, create and adaptation hydraulic modeling tools, hydraulic calculation, create and assist management system. K project 2 is city Kropyvnytsky, the team
Alexei,
of
can you be more precise, please? Because we are out of time and already. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Technical audit 92 facilities of the company and development 3 automatic projects. And last project, it's city in Lviv. The team have been carried out inventory of the city water supply system and connected several API systems with transmit data. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for attention.
Thank you so much, Alexei. If the participants have questions to you, please write us in chat or use the contacts from Alexei. And we welcome to the floor our last speaker is Vitaly Zaitsev from Kharkiv University of Technology STEP. So Vitaly, the floor is yours.
Good day. One minute, please. Okay.
Yes, we see your screen. Just make it.
My presentation on screen?
Just make it full screen.
Full screen?
Yes.
Just a minute. Yes?
No, we see your the presentation in edit mode. But you can keep it like that if it's okay.
1 minute. You see
It's okay. You can use.
You see my
presentation? We see your presentation. Yes, we see your presentation, but the slides, all the slides. But that's okay.
Okay. Dear friends, I am Vitaly Zaitsev. I represent the Kharkiv Cluster Engineering Automatization Machinery. I present to your attention our solutions in the fields of education for application within smart city concept. Education is one of the components of the smart city concept. In real, we are faced with the challenges, increasing the efficiency of governing system, professional orientation of school children, what kind of workforce the region needs, professional development and retraining, lifelong learning, and other. Our solution is an electronic platform that integrates all components of the educational system of the region and allows to increase the efficiency of management as a whole. The platform has built-in mechanism for the daily work of the community and allows you to expand with additional subsystems. The platform helps to create web portals of educational institutions and integrate them into a single regional system. The platform includes a mechanism for planning and managing the educational process. The platform includes LMS systems and webinars for distance learning. The platform includes tools for communication and also a system for finding talent among students. We already offer an electronic system that helps in the development of the country. The systems implement the lifelong learning concept, helps to search for talents and offers a mechanism to support them. And as a result, we have a situation where anyone wins. There are just small results of the work of our platform in recent years. Educational portals have already been created in 7 regions of Ukraine. It's western regions and eastern regions, central Ukrainian regions. 3 regions of Ukraine have electronic registration in preschool.
Vitaly, if you are on slide 2, just in case you are switching slides, we see slide 2.
See slide 2?
Yes.
Smart city components.
Yes.
You see then next slide, no?
No, we don't.
We don't understand. It's
now we see we see the solutions.
Solutions.
School website creation, yes.
Solution
challenges.
School-wide these subsystems, school website creation, subsystem school management system, distance learning LMS platform and webinars platform, solution tools for social network, solution for talents. Our goal is the system when all participant is wins. It's our small results in recent years. Seven educational regional portals in Ukraine, 3 distance school, 3 regions with electronic registration to preschool, and other. We also have a proposal, an electronic system of knowledge transfer and staff training in institutions and companies based on Syntegrum platform, and also the implementation of gamification of school education based on MAPS platform, this platform for secondary school. I hope that our solution are of interest for you, and thank you for your attention. Please question in chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vitaly, and thank you all for the presentations. Thank you all for participating in the meeting, and I see a lot of people already leaving because we are out of time, unfortunately due to technical reasons, but we appreciate that you are here, that you stayed with us, and if you have anything that you would like to share before we close this meeting, you have the floor right now, or you can write in the chat. But as for now, we are very grateful for you participating here, and we invite you to register for the matchmaking event in Brno, which is happening on the 15th to 16th of February. A big delegation from Ukraine is coming there, but you are invited to participate even online because it's a hybrid event. And we are looking forward to having a common event in April in Brno about smart cities. So thank you so much all for the presentations, for being here. And I think with these words, I'm closing this meeting, and thank you all.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Maybe
Take care
Lena,
and see you in Brno.
maybe we can do a general photo of all participants for the end.
That's a good idea. That's good for social media. That's really good.
Yeah,
Ask
yeah.
everyone to put their cameras on. Put the cameras on. That's great for social media. Yeah.
Yes, a very good idea. Thank you so much. And whoever is able to do that, please do. Wherever you are, you're
I
welcome
have to
to
put
be
my
here.
clothes back on. That should make you laugh, right? Everyone should be laughing and smiling. Yeah, yeah.
As long as you have your t-shirt on, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, a couple of more seconds because we see already people still joining. Okay. Any more? Okay, see some joining. Okay, last call for the to be in the
Come on,
picture.
we're gonna be famous. We're all gonna be working together for a long time anyway.
Yes, we're stuck together. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm making a picture. Okay, thank you all, and thank you for this idea. Let's have a great weekend and have it as a great start for future cooperation.
Awesome, awesome. You can tell that joke. How do you break a Russian's nose? How do you break a Russian's finger? Do you know how to break a Russian's finger?
No, you should teach us.
You punch him in the nose. You under- Sorry. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye all.
Goodbye.
Олександра, ви можете завершити зустріч? Мені треба.
Міша, напевно, ти все-таки мусиш.
Блін, це мені зараз перезаходить, коротше. Ну окей.
Угу. Закриваєш, Міш?
Так, почекай.